TB group has a laboratory to perform mechanical tests according to the EN 388 2016 standard and an extractor hood to test chemical resistance. We are not a notified body. The tests are just part of our internal quality control. All the equipment and materials are similar to the ones you can find in any notified body's laboratory and are regularly controlled by an external company. Abrasion. Samples. We first cut 4 circular samples from individual gloves of the same lot number. Then we need to stick the test sample without tension carefully and centrally on the metal insert using a double-sided adhesive tape. Test. We put the test sample holders on the top plate and we add the weight on it and switch on the machine. The performance of the sample is determined by the sample breakthrough, which is the visually observed deterioration in a sample after exposure to a specified number of abrasion cycles. Each test will be performed with a new abrasive paper. We start the test and check the samples after 100 cycles. If there are no breaks, we continue the test until reaching 500 cycles, performance level 2. If there are no breaks, we continue the test until the next performance level, and so on. In 2016, the required standard was modified using new, more abrasive sandpaper. It has meant a decrease in the abrasion level in many gloves. Cut resistance. Resistance to cutting with a blade test. This test consists of a test bench providing an alternating horizontal movement to a circular rotating blade. Sample. The test sample consists of a strip cut on a 45-degree angle and shall be taken from the glove's palm. In addition, we need a standard cotton canvas control sample with the same dimensions. Before any test, the sharpness of the blade must be checked using the cotton canvas sample. Test. 5 tests shall be made on each test sample and 3 steps need to be followed. First, we test the sharpness of the blade using the cotton canvas sample. Second, we test the sample of the glove. Third, we test again the sharpness of the blade using the cotton canvas sample. The machine stops automatically when the samples are cut. These 3 parameters are a sequence that gives us an index. The final index is the average of the 5 index. This test was modified in 2016, changing the speed and sharpness of the blade, the cotton canvas specifications, and adding 2 important conditions. 1. The test has to be manually stopped when samples reach 60 cycles. 2. If, in the 3rd step of the sequence, the number of cycles obtained is greater than 3 times the one obtained on the first step, it means that the material is dulling the blade. So that, we need to perform the test under EN ISO 13997:1999 TDM. Resistance to cutting with sharp objects, TDM. This test method is described in EN ISO 13997:1999. This machine measures the movement in millimeters that are needed for cutting the sample. The cut resistance of a sample material is expressed as the cutting force that is required to be applied to a blade of standard sharpness to make a cut through the material of 20 millimeters. The test sample consists of a strip cut on a 45-degree angle. Test. For test 1 sample, we need to follow the next steps. Stick the sample on the holder. Fit a new blade. Select and install weights to produce the desired cutting load and record the cutting force. Gently and slowly bring the blade into contact with the sample and start. When a cut is detected and the motor arm stops, we need to record the distance and the weight used. The cut distance shall be between 5 mm and 50 mm. Cut distances below 5 mm or above 50 mm shall be eliminated from the calculation. We need 15 cuts. 5 values between 5 and 15 mm, 5 values between 15 and 30 mm, and 5 values between 30 and 50 mm. With this data, we calculate the graphic that represents the relationship between the weight and the cut length. The result is measured in newtons, and the index is represented by a letter between A and F. Extractor hood. We have incorporated in the laboratory an extractor hood. It prevents the exit of toxic vapors to the outside by activated carbon filters. We use this equipment to perform our own test, not following the standard. It is a control that gives us information about the behavior of the gloves in contact with different chemicals or products. Thanks to our internal laboratory, we can analyze and test all shipments in order to ensure the quality of our products.